Hey there, friends. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping, in for another Teach Me Tuesday episode. Today we are working with this really cute stamp set that I haven't given enough love from the Sale-A-Bration catalog. This is the Epic Celebrations stamp set, and I think this one is fantastic if you have teenagers or young boys. It's just really, really versatile. And I don't know about you, but shopping for boys is really difficult for me. So I just automatically thought of a gift card holder when I saw this, when I was trying to play with it and do something with it this morning. So that's what I wanted to show you today. So this is what we are going to create. Let me just get it back together here. So it's a cute little gift card holder. It's like a little wallet gift card holder, which I really like. So it's got the headphones and the little greeting here, and then you open it up and it's actually a little fold-out gift card holder. So I'm going to show you how I made this, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks and some other tools that you can use with this to make it an even more versatile little project. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, let me give you some measurements. So we're going to start with a base piece. I'm using the Emerald Envy. This is 2 3/4 by 11, so it's an 11-inch piece of cardstock. I just cut it at 2 3/4. And then I have a pattern paper that coordinates. This one is 2.5 by 7 3/4. And then scrap piece of white. And then this little piece here, which is for the inside, is 3 3/4 by 2.5. So let me set that aside for a minute. And then we're going to do this piece. I'm going to grab my... Oh, the sun just went down, and so now my lighting isn't as great. It's funny. I'm going to take my Emerald Envy piece. I'm going to put it in the long way across the top here, and I'm going to take my scoring tool, and I am going to score this at 4, 4.5, 5, and then 9. Oops. Oopsie, missed a little bit. Okay, no worries. That'll be fine. Okay, so now what I wanted to do, if you noticed I had this little round edge on mine. So what I did is I took my layering circles. So I took the largest circle from the layering circles, and we're going to partial die cut this. So you can do this for all sorts of techniques. But for me, I just wanted this, just the end of this, to be die cut. Now obviously if I do this, it's going to cut the circle right into here. So basically what we want to do is we want to make sure the cardstock isn't under the cardstock, the cutting edge. So I'm going to stick the cardstock through the circle, and now I'm only going to cut this front part because the other part isn't touching any paper because it's under here. Okay, so I'm going to pull that all the way up to as close as I can get to the edge, and I'm going to make sure it's centered as best as I can. I am using the magnetic platform because that will hold that in place and make sure it doesn't move when I roll it through. So I'm going to set it down on the platform, put my cutting mat on top of it, and I'm going to roll it through. Now I'm not going to roll it all the way through, so that piece, the front half, has gone through, and I'm going to roll it back the other direction, because what happens is if you roll it all the way through in one direction, you're going to get, and it's not a big deal, you can cover it, but you're going to get the impression of the framelit, that's a good one. You're going to get the impression of the framelit on your other half. So in order to not do that, I'm just rolling it so that just this half goes through. So I roll it halfway in and then roll it back the other way. And what happens, move this out of the way, is you're going to see it only cut that one part instead of indenting here because I didn't roll it far enough for that to indent. Okay, so that's one little trick for you. All right, so next step, I'm going to set this aside for a minute because we'll need this again in a second. Next up is to get the little notch for your gift card. So as you can see, I did 3 scores, and we're going to fold the middle one so it's down. So it's like you're folding that in half, okay? Now we're going to fold this one backwards and this one backwards. So you're doing a valley fold, or I'm sorry, a mountain fold. So see how there's like a little mountain? That's what we want to happen. So now you can see it's all lined up to, it's a little crooked here, to fold over like this. And I've got my little mountain fold, so it looks almost like a little pocket in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and reopen it again, so just that little flap here is exposed. And I'm going to grab, I don't know how this happened, but I don't have the classic label punch. So I'm going to use the everyday label punch. You just need a straight edge to work with. And you do want to do this before you put glue, even though it's a little bit easier if you glued this down. I've found that if I glue this little tab down and then, well, one, you risk not being able to get the gift card in because you put glue too high. But two, I find that my punch really doesn't like it. You're not really, you don't really want to use your punch on 2 layers of cardstock very often. This is just a tiny little piece, so it should be fine. But you're just going to punch that, and then punch another little edge of it. So I'm lining up this top piece here with the top of the punch so that there's none showing, and then I can cut off this little excess piece. You don't want to do that with the sticky inside here because the punch really doesn't like it and it gets stuck and you could damage it and make it broken, and we don't want that. So now we have that little notch. Okay, now I don't really want to put tape right here because then the gift card won't go in. So you're just going to take a nice strong adhesive. You can use the tear and tape adhesive, which is the one that's on the little roll. I happen to have some fast fuse handy, so I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to do it along the sides here. I am using the fast fuse or the tear and tape because it is super strong, and because you have a gift card in here, you want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And I got glue on my paper. Just rub that off. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and fold these back together. Okay, like that. This is a little crooked. I don't know what I did, but it I scored crooked or something because it is slightly crooked, but we will fix that, no worries. All right, so now you just want to make sure before you get too much further that the gift card will fit in there. So I just kind of open it up. Make sure, yep, it's big enough for that to fit in there, and it will fold over that nicely. And now you can see that the edge of the gift card is showing there. So what I did was I just took the pattern paper and I cut it just so it was 1/4 inch short, so it gets a little bit of a border. And you can see that lines up really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to tape this side, some tape here. Oops. This is from the Pick a Pattern designer series paper. Sorry, my thing is all out of whack. All right, and I'm going to line this up like here. Get that taped down. And now, whoops, see, I don't know what I did, but everything wants to be crooked, so I'll just straighten that out. I'm going to actually, so I can straighten it a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put the tape here. Alright, and then I can make sure it stays straight, or semi-straight. It's still a little off, but it's okay. Alright, so now you can go ahead and fold back on those score lines, crease that, and you have your little wallet. So there you go. Cute, right? Now, in order to keep it closed, you could use Velcro or magnets or something like that, or you could even use it this way and like tie a little ribbon around it. I felt, because I thought I wanted this for a boy, one of my nephews, I didn't really want to use ribbon, so I found the little Love You Lots Framelits dies. That's actually the Lots to Love boxed framelits dies. And let me find where, oh, it's right here. That is, I pulled one of these little ones out because that comes from it, and that's the one we're going to use. But you'll see in here, there's the little box cutter, and there's 2 of these little round notch looking things, and that's exactly what they're for. You could just put this and, oh my gosh, I can't pick it up, this on here. Oops, actually they go the other way, sorry. Like this, and then you could tuck your card right under here. So that would be one way to do it, but I just wanted to use one to keep the little wallet closed. And just to show you, sidetrack for a second, this is what those dies actually make, is the cute little boxes that I showed you in another Teach Me Tuesday episode. And here's another one that I did with the Mystic and Magic Suite, I think it's called. So I'm just getting another use out of this. Again, you could use Velcro or something else. That would be totally fine, but I just figured since I had this, I'm going to use it and I'll be able to hide it, and it looks really, really professional. So what I did was I just lined this up so that the edges of this and that little round part are underneath the flap, because you want that to be able to tuck under there. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, keeping this in place, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to run this through the Big Shot again. Okay, sorry. Slamming things around over here, so let me just do this. And I'm keeping that in place. Again, I'm using the magnetic platform so that, whoop, it just jumped. I'm using the magnetic platform. I'll see if I can get this over here so you can see what I'm doing to keep this where I wanted it. I'm hoping it didn't move too much. I'm going to hang on to it just for a second because, whoops, it is a little guy. Yeah, see, it wants to. Hold on, let me do this again. Alright. Oops, I want to make sure it's under here. So we're going to line it up where we want it. Hang on to it. I'll try it over just a little bit, see if it likes that better. There's little bitty circle magnets in the magnetic platform that if there's any sort of, movement, or any sort of, sorry, I'm trying to think and roll at the same time. And now I'm going to carefully try and pull my finger out of here. Hold on. Oh goodness, this worked so nicely a minute ago, and now, of course, because the camera is rolling, it wants to be a finicky little thing. I've kind of kept an eye on where I wanted this, so hopefully, there we go, that's about where I want it. Let's hope and pray this works the way it's supposed to. You could put a little bit of, like a sticky note or something on that too, just to keep it still. We'll see if that worked the way I wanted to. But what I was trying to explain, I was trying to talk and do two things at once, which is never a good thing. There's little itty bitty, I don't know if you can see it, there they are. See the little circle magnets that are in here? What happens is when you have those little dies, sometimes they get caught in between those magnets and it just pulls them. So that's why you get that moving action when you've got little dies. So you normally just need to move it around to a different spot and it's fine, which is what I did. Now, let's see how I managed to do with all that. Ooh, it looks like I did okay. So now you can see that that will slip right under there and you'll be good to go. You could also just kind of do a little pencil mark to show where you wanted that. So, all right. So next up, let me just think for a second. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to do some stamping here. And I probably should have done it before I put the pattern paper on. I didn't do it that way when I did the original either because, I don't know, sometimes I don't have a brain. All right, I thought the first time it was because I was in the middle of creative processing, so I didn't come up with the idea until after I'd already taped the paper down, but this time it was just because I wasn't focused. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and wing it, and I'm going to stamp some random ones here, some random headphones there for that. Okay. So now you can see when we've got this closed, it's all facing the right direction. Next up, I'm going to take that little white piece we had, and I'm going to go ahead, and again, using the Emerald Envy ink, I'm using the Emerald Envy ink for both of these. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this off, and then I'm going to put it kind of on a tilt there, like that. And then I took Memento Black and the You're Awesome. Oh, crud. I just put that in the green. Where is my... Here we go. Let's wipe that off with my little wipe that I have here. I'm going to get my fingers full of green, which is dangerous. All right. Let's do that again. I'm going to do it in the black, so it will show over the green. And I'm just going to put that kind of overlapping. Beautiful. Okay, so there's that. Move that out of the way. and move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and tape this to the inside of the gift card holder. I should have taped my paper down today. And that also covers that little hole in the middle, so that was one of the other reasons why I did this. And look, I didn't even ink the edges. Are you proud of me? I want to, but I think with a teenage kid, kind of bright and bold rather than vintage is a better idea. All right, so now we have that. So again, this gets tucked into there. And I just wanted to put a little something on the front to fancy it up a little bit. So I took the Here's to an Epic Celebration from that same stamp set, the Epic Sale-A-Bration set, which, if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, if you order $50 in product between now and the end of March 31st on one order, you can actually select a freebie item, and this is one of the freebie items you can select. So I'm going to take my basic black marker. You could just stamp this in black ink and be done with it. That would look really cute too. So here, let me show you. So there's just black, plain old black, that works. But I wanted to add a little pop of color, the little pop of green. So I'm using my basic black marker to color the smaller words on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to use my Emerald Envy marker to color that center word to just give it a little bit of pop and highlight the fact that I want this to be an epic celebration. All right, so just carefully coloring this. If you notice, I'm coloring with the side of my marker, not the tip. If you color straight on with the tip of your marker, you're gonna kind of ruin the tip and it will get all fuzzy and won't color very well anymore. You won't be able to stay in the line, so that's never a good thing if you like to color. So just use the side of your marker. I just breathed on it a little bit to re-moisten anything that may have dried, and I'm going to stamp it on this little scrap piece of paper. And then I'm going to use, so you can see that it has the two colors, which is fun. And I'm using the 1 3/8 circle punch. I'm going to flip that over, stick this inside here, get it lined up, and go ahead and punch that out. And now I just put that on with some dimensionals. Now, because it's going to go over this little thing, we don't really want it to stick to that because then it won't open. So I'm going to overlap it to cover that, but I'm just going to keep my dimensionals off to this one side so that it doesn't block the ability to open and close it. All right, so we'll pull those off. I got no nails right now. There we go. And we'll pop that right there. And now you have your cute, whoops, your cute little gift card. So really cute, really fun, whoops, and a great, great option for those teenagers in your life. It's not cooperating at the moment because, you know, this is video. There we go. Okay, there it is. So all finished, and you would just stick your little gift card in there, and you'd be good to go. A cute little gift for those boys and teens in your age, and girls. You could totally do this for a girl as well. We like music, right? So all is good. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. I do a new Teach Me Tuesday video every Tuesday, so we'd love to have you come back. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great week.